We want you to begin to feel the power of your asking and the importance of your asking. And we want you to stop feeling embarrassed about the desire that is constantly born within you, and stop trying to stifle it as if there is something wrong with you, that you are greedy or selfish, and accept once and for all that this is the way the entire universe is established. Isn't it a wonderful thing when every perspective, whether it is in a conscious physical human personality or in that of a frog or in that of the cell in one of your bodies, in every microbe that exists with all that is, isn't it wonderful that every one of those vantage points gets to selfishly ask, and isn't it wonderful that every one of those vantage points is answered? And can't you feel how that has to be good for the whole? Wouldn't you rather make your decisions about what is important to you rather than having some governing body make the decisions for you? Don't you think that you are in a better place of identifying what you want? And don't you think that when you ask from your perspective that you have a better probability of getting the results that you want because you are asking from a more personal perspective? Of course that's what you think. And can't you carry that further to understand that even the cells in your body can do a better job of asking for what is best on their behalf than you possibly could from your further removed vantage point when you cannot even begin to understand what the cells of your body want or need? Doesn't it make you want to just sort of get out of the way and accept that the cells know and let them ask? Doesn't it make you want to offer no resistance whatsoever so that the cells can ask and source can answer? And if the cell thrives, doesn't it make sense that if that cell and the other trillions of cells in your body are individually thriving, don't you think you will too? So whether you are looking at the cells in your body that are governed by the personality that is you, or whether you are looking at the people of a nation that are governed by a body, doesn't it make sense to you that as you are individually asking and you are individually answering, doesn't it make sense that anything that you do that keeps you from causing any resistance within you would then put you in the place of more fully receiving what you are asking for? It is our promise to you that when you ask, it is always given. And it is also our promise to you that that which you are asking for, you must not resist if you are to receive it. Which means if you are a vibrational match to that which you are asking for, you will receive it fully. Esther has been listening to us offer the analogy of the radio signals or the satellite signals for some time. And while she can accept from her human perspective that which Abraham says is probably true, although she has no way of proving it to herself other than from the feeling tones that waft through her, she cannot even tell for sure where we are really transmitting from. She is aware she is getting the signal, and it feels good as it flows, but there is no way for her to really understand on any deep level other than what we say to her, and she trusts that that is true. And so the other day she is watching a television program called How Does That Work? And the program is describing how the radio works. And it is describing that there is an antenna that is out there receiving, literally absorbing the vibration. And the program explained that the vibration of sound is just like electricity. And so the antenna is receiving or absorbing all of this sound. All of this sound. All of the signals that are being transmitted anywhere in the vicinity are being received by this antenna. A sort of cacophony, if it were not for the other components within the radio that recognize the signal that you are asking for, separate the signals that are being offered, and allow in only the one that you have your tuner set to. And Esther said, Abraham, the analogy that you've been offering about the radio is an even better analogy than I knew. Because here it is, everything that has ever been, everything that is being, all blowing around in our environment. It is coming through the television, it is coming through the newspapers, it is coming through the mouths of those who are around us. A cacophony of ideas and beliefs and expectations and desires. And how is it that we keep from being overwhelmed and bombarded? And we said, you set your tuner. You set your tuner by identifying what is important to you, by making statements of your own desire, by getting in sync with the true vibrational nature of who you are. It is a wonderful thing to be focused in this magnificent universe where law of attraction is sorting all things out. And law of attraction is a bit like the tuner in your radio in that it is able to separate and distinguish the signals. And as you are paying attention to the way you feel, you can get so very good at offering more consistently a vibration which then law of attraction matches. If you are utterly objective or eager to soak up all information on all topics that's being offered, then you are living a sort of chaotic life. And of course, it's not in your nature to do that because while you are a multifaceted being, you are more singularly focused as you are here in this physical body. You cannot think a great number of thoughts at the same time. So what happens to you as human perceivers, as powerful creators, whether you are doing this deliberately or whether you are doing it by default, as you focus here, then here, then here, as you remember something or as you observe something or as you imagine something or as you converse about something, you offer these radio signals that for the time of your offering become your point of attraction or your point of deciphering all of those signals that are out there. They become your point of receiving. As you are standing in your physical now and you are aware of the way you feel and you are interested in feeling good so that you are deliberately making the choices of what you give your attention to, whether it is a past, present, or future thought, as you make those decisions about where you direct your thoughts based upon how they feel, then you begin to activate within yourself the vibration that is truly in keeping with who you really are, and you filter out all the stuff that doesn't match that. And that is what true thriving is. It is getting in sync with the true nature of your being, so that anything that is not in keeping with the true nature of your being is filtered out. The true nature of your being is simply one who thrives, one who experiences well-being, one who expands in joy. So as you stand in your now, what you're offering vibrationally now is your point of attraction. But you did not just learn that vibration just now. You've been picking it up and practicing it, fine-tuning it as you've been responding to your environment. Now, law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. And law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe, really the only one worth talking about, because what law of attraction says is when you're offering a signal, that's the signal that you're going to receive back. As you have been offering many different signals, then how do you know what's going to represent your strongest signal? What is your strongest signal? Well, it's the one that you are offering most powerfully now. It's not the one that you have offered before, and it's not the one that you will offer in the future. It's the one that you are offering now. Well, how do you know what signal you're offering now? Well, logic tells you the signal that you are probably going to offer now is the signal that you've been practicing most recently. So, Abraham, is what I'm offering now the culmination of all that I have offered? No. What you're offering now is what you're offering now. But if when I was 5 this happened and I offered a signal about it, and when I was 6 this happened and I offered a signal about it, don't all of those things that happened when I was 5 and 6 and 10 and 20 and 30 and 40, don't all of those sort of add up to be what I'm offering now? And we say, not in the sense that you offered them and now they are part of your weight and balance, only in the sense that as you practiced them when you were 5, you were probably, unless you made some decision, going to practice them when you were 6. And when you practiced it when you were 6, you're probably going to practice it when you're 20. Not because you can't help it, but because we're pausing for drama. Because it was your path of least resistance. It's easier in the middle of an argument to keep arguing. It's easier in the middle of pain to notice pain. Now, some of you who have been paying attention to law of attraction for a while and who have really come to recognize who you are, really who you are troubled with that thought. Because you have come to know that you are pure positive energy. And if you are pure positive energy, then why would it ever be the path of least resistance to deviate from that? And we say you had to practice. You practiced resisting the well-being that is you until that felt more natural. When we talk about the deliberate creative process, we say to you there are 3 steps. The first step is you've got to ask for something, and that comes very easily because the contrasting universe helps you to constantly discern your own preferences. So you are constantly exuding, emanating, oozing, radiating vibrational replications of your desire. Messages to the universe that say, I want this, I desire this, I am this. And law of attraction sorts that out and matches and gives back to you things that match it. So when you desire something, you must be a vibrational match to that which you are desiring in order for the signal completion to occur. So step 1 is ask, step 2 is answer. Both of those steps take place without much conscious awareness for you. Step 3 is you've got to be in a vibrational place where you allow what you are asking for. So the art of allowing, that's what we call this gathering these days, the art of allowing is really saying the path of least resistance. It's saying, I'm going to learn how to get out of the way of the receiving of what I've been asking for. Now, allowing what? Allowing well-being, allowing clarity, allowing wellness on all fronts, allowing the answers to the questions, allowing the well-being that I've been asking for, allowing what I came here to live, allowing the fulfillment of who I really am, allowing the expansion of the universe, allowing all that is good. So can you hear how the path of least resistance and the path of allowing, or most allowing, are really the same path? So when you want something, you've got to not resist it. And how do you not resist it? By being a match to what it is. So when you say, I want more money, and then you say, but I don't have enough money, and I'm really suffering in my absence of money, you are not choosing a path of less resistance, you are choosing a path of more resistance because you're amplifying where you stand in your absence of money. And sometimes, without even meaning to, you escalate that resistance all the more because you think somehow, maybe it's because of your relationship with your parents, that if you can really make a strong case of how awful it is to live in the absence of something, because all the other kids have it or whatever, that then somehow that well-being or the orchestrator or offerer of well-being, which in the early days to you feels like it's your parent or guardian, will give up the goods. So you stand in the absence of something that you want today, many of you, escalating that absence in order to justify the presence coming, without understanding that when you amplify where you stand, you are escalating your resistance rather than decreasing it. And you are sort of stuck in this place where what you want cannot come. And then when it does not come, then you get so creative about explaining why it is not coming, which further escalates the practicing of holding a vibration. We want you to understand that once you've meditated and you're in vibrational sync with who you really are, the path of least resistance is always a positive, good-feeling thought. But when you're in the middle of something that feels awful and you've got that energy flowing, then sometimes escalating what is going wrong feels easier to you. And we just want you to understand that with far less effort than you think, if you will take the time to get into sync with who you really are by basking more, by appreciating more, by looking for positive aspects more, by saying sweet words, by doing things that feel good, by meditating, by reaching for thoughts that feel good when you think them, and by staying within them long enough that you really begin to achieve a full vibrational pattern within the entirety of your being.